Time now to head back home and get to the top story developing as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw the Logout campaign on 15th of August, a long weekend, when restaurateurs decided to log out of Zomato, Easy Diner, Dine Out and all of such food tech apps. That fight has now escalated to food delivery. Now, when we were covering the Logout campaign, we had restaurateurs who had made it quite clear it's not just about the deep discounts for in-dining, the 1+1 combo deal, sometimes 2+2 for drinks, but also for delivery. Their commissions could go as high as 30%. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that restaurateurs have taken to demand that Zomato, Swiggy, Uber Eats, Food Panda stop demanding those commissions, stop offering the kind of discounts that are being offered. Now, it was the first time when we heard about food delivery right here on the channel, on the show, was from A.D. Singh, celebrity chef, the owner of Olive, who spoke about how even he was looking at setting up a low-cost kitchen, only to discover that Zomato was looking at private label, setting up its own kitchens to compete with the restaurateurs. Lots of pain points that have come up between the two warring sides. But we get you a mega exclusive right here in Star Central. For the first time since this fight ever broke out, we get you the two warring sides together in one frame. We're getting you an interview that has been agreed to by Swiggy as well as the NRAI. Together, they're going to be talking about the pain points and the road ahead. Vivek, Kabir, good evening. Thanks so much for being a part of ET Now. Since you've agreed to do the interview together and you're sitting together looking kind of pleased, have you called a truce? Is no one logging out? Have you decided to not detox from each other?
So our discussions today have been very positive. We have listed out all our concerns and have tried within one room as a management council meeting resolve and discuss most of them. But we're waiting for Swiggy to get back to us and we will have a joint resolution to all our points.
Yeah, just wanted to echo the point which Kabir made. We believe that partners should sit together and discuss differences. Yeah. I think we did that. We want to thank NRAI for being transparent with all the concerns that their members have. We discussed each and every point in detail. We believe that we have certain sort of steps that we need to follow on the implementation of some of these, and we've agreed a set of timelines where we'll come back together and regroup and check what the status is of some of those projects that we've agreed to do.
That's correct.
So Vivek, if I could now come to you, you know, there is a letter that the NRAI has written to all the food aggregators, Swiggy, Zomato, Food Panda, Uber Eats. We at ET Now have accessed that letter, and I want to go through some of the pain points and see where you're at when it comes to them. Of course, we're waiting for the resolution, and it's good to see both of you thrashed out. As consumers, we don't want you guys to be fighting, right? But having said that, Vivek, when it comes to discounting, discounts of 30 to 70% on food delivery, can that be thrashed out? Your consumers are now used to that. Or will it become a case where Zomato, Swiggy and all of those who are funded will have to, use their own cash for subsidizing all of this?
Sure. Sorry, go ahead. I think you would appreciate the fact that we've discussed and tabled all of the topics, including discounting. That was the first topic we discussed. I think the members had very fair points to make on the sustainability of the business, the sustainability of the P&Ls, and we understand and appreciate that. In fact, we pride ourselves on the fact that we don't want to be doing discounting unless it's absolutely necessary. So I think suffice to say that we've agreed a set of specific timelines to come back and meet and see how we can grow the business while at the same time driving financial sustainability into the restaurant industry.
Vivek, do you agree that consumers have become addicts, that, we are guilty of now enjoying discounts? We are not going to order online or dine in unless we get discounts, and that too heavy discounts?
Well, the fact that there is discounts in the industry is a fact, but I don't think I'd agree with your sort of overall premise that consumers have become so used to discounts that they're not going to order. What Swiggy and a lot of the online aggregators are providing in today's world is a choice of ordering in great brands, and I think that there is a friction point that is there in consumers' lives that Swiggy and the others are eliminating, and for that they are willing to use the service even if there isn't a discount. That's what our data tells us. That's one of the data points that we talked about. Is the number of discounts going up? Well, in the competitive market there will be ups and downs. We discussed the fact of whether it's moving from green territory to red territory, and therefore what we need to do to bring it back to green territory. But I don't think the premise that customers will stop ordering in if there are no discounts is going to be true. This is a business that sustains itself because it provides a service that customers are find useful. Nobody wants to head out and face traffic to get access to the great brands that are on our platform. So it is providing a service that consumers like, and to that extent, consumers are not addicted to discounts. Who doesn't like a great deal? But are consumers addicted to discounts? I don't think that is the case.
So I agree with what Vivek said. I think we need to appreciate the fact that we've had a very positive meeting. I think most of our points, which as you just listed out, have been addressed individually. I think it's a work in progress because obviously we will not have solutions to each problem in a 2-hour meeting. So we've listed out all the pain points. What has been agreed in the room is that we're going to work within a time frame. We're going to try and resolve these issues mutually. It is not going to be done just single-handedly, and I think that's a very big positive that has come out of the meeting. I also believe that working together to find solutions is always better, and I think we're on the right path. Will we achieve it? I think we will. The idea is if the intent is there from both sides, I think a lot of things can happen. So I leave this room today, with great hope, and I feel that we are going to be able to achieve solving most of the pain points.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I want to thank the members of the NRAI steering committee to basically hear our concerns out. Sometimes we presented some data sets that were not something that they had seen from their end. So I think they were very open to listening to us. And this is why good meetings happen. When we are open to listening to each of us, respect our points of view, and we're trying to find something that works for the total ecosystem. That was the spirit of the meeting, and I'm glad we started that way and we've ended that way.
And the discussion has been about not large companies only, it's also about the single restaurant. So I think we've tried to address concerns about the entire spectrum of people and the entire ecosystem.
So, I'm going to now address the elephant in the room, which is right now Zomato. So, Vivek, if I could take that question to you, actually. It's very clear that Swiggy's had a very good meeting with the NRAI. We have seen a very public spat between your competitor Zomato as well as the NRAI, which has also got personal. We've seen how Dipinder Goyal, for example, and Rahul Singh have been trading charges at each other, and that too on a public platform like Twitter. Today, when you walk away, are you confident that we will not see restaurants logging out, at least when it comes to Swiggy?
Well, commenting on what restaurants will do, my view is restaurants are in the business to do business. They have no intent to kind of do something that is detrimental to their business. So I have a confidence on the basis of the meeting and the fair representation that was provided of the large, long tail of restaurants that is there by the NRAI, that there would not be business disruptive behavior. That said, the reality is that we both have to work hard to make sure that a positive meeting today does not lead to no actions and so on and so forth. So I think we should take it step by step. We've had a great meeting. We believe that we can make some progress. We're going to re-meet again and discuss the status on that one. And I think if it progresses in the right way, there is no reason for me to believe that a group of people who are working hard to kind of run a business would want to be disruptive. Nobody really wants to be disruptive unless circumstances facilitate or create that situation to happen.
Kabir, there have been reports and restaurateurs, for example, have been saying the delivery commissions can be as high as 30%. That it started with the sub 10% mark and have now gone up to 30%. I know I'm asking you this when you're seated next to Vivek Sundar, the CEO of Swiggy. But what's a fair commission? Because, let's be fair. Swiggy and Zomato are also growing the market. They're also making sure a lot of people who are not visiting your restaurants are giving you business. It's something maybe that the mall operators had to fight it out with restaurateurs. It's now, the new one is, of course, with the aggregators.
So, this was part of our discussion, and, I think what we've asked Swiggy to do is to rework a model which is beneficial and covers their costs and obviously addresses the concerns for the restaurants. So, what is the right percentage? I don't think there is a right percentage. I think, a cloud kitchen percentage, a brick and mortar restaurant percentage, and the price point at which you sell your food all play a part. So I think what we've suggested, and I think we are going down this road. I don't mean to speak for Swiggy, but we're wanting it to be based on the APT, average price per transaction. So we've said that we need to work towards rationalizing certain cost structures based on the selling price, rather than just a flat percentage based on other methodologies. So again, they're going to get back to us and come up with different options. We're going to work through it together. The idea is the intent. So the intent is to find middle ground. The intent is to address the various buckets that I just mentioned. And the idea is to find, because what fits my percentage might not fit the other guy, right? So it's hard for me to define what is the right percentage. But with the margins and the cost structures in India, the percentages are cannot be the same as they are outside India. So we need to take cognizance of operating costs of India, rationalize the various different workings, and try and achieve something that is workable and acceptable for all parties concerned.
So this is yeah. I'm just saying, Nayantara, this is the reason. I know you're obviously rightly so eager to find out the details, but this is a work in progress, and I think it's just not fair to both parties to get into the details of what is the construct going to be. I think the contours of the construct have been defined by Kabir in his comment, and we are obviously completely in principle alignment of that it has to be reasonable and it has to be sort of understandable and all of those things. In a free market, it's never going to be the number, and I don't think they asked for it, and I don't think we have proposed it. But what we are saying is we'll come back with a model that happens to work for the large, the small, the medium, and the niche players, the mass players, and all of those players. It has to be able to accommodate the differences and the diversity that exists in the restaurant ecosystem, and that's what we're working on. And I think it's not right for me to talk about what is work in progress and what we will come back over the next few weeks.
Vivek Sundar, before I let you go, I'm not asking you for all the details, though I've been trying to do that. I'll make this my final question to you, which is that, while we've seen the restaurateurs get together and escalate all of these issues, the burning points, have the food technology apps also been doing that? Like, have you been in conversation with the Zomato, Uber Eats, Food Panda to stand united as well? Or is it going to be a case of each one to their own?
See, the reality is that we have often met as a total body. There has been a meeting in the past where we had all of the aggregators in the meeting with NRAI a few months ago. So these meetings, which are, let's call it, combined meetings, have happened in the past. And I think the point is around finding a way in which the ecosystem benefits. This is not Swiggy versus NRAI or the other way around. It is a fact that the NRAI is representing a bunch of entrepreneurs, small and medium and large businesses, and they are our partners. We depend on them for the vast majority of supply that the consumers demand. So we have to work with them. In some cases, conversations will happen solo. In some cases, it will happen together. The reality is that what we are talking about is a stage of the conversation which happened to be in detail with us, because they'd like for us to talk with them on what is the steps that we are going to do, and it's beholden on us as a large sort of a player that consumers love to be talking about what is it that we are trying to do. And so honestly, I don't think this works in a way that we have to do it in a certain way together or separately. It's horses for courses. Whatever the topic is, we get together and talk. And I think talking is the first important step. We can't do sort of discussions and negotiations through third-party sources, right? We have to meet and talk, we have to look each other in the eye and talk about how the pain points are, and we have to address those pain points, and that's what we did today.
I would just like to add one thing. I think the intent to work on resolving and trying to achieve and address the various concerns within a certain time frame is the agenda that we have committed amongst ourselves. And I'm quite sure that I think based on today's discussion, I'm not saying everything's going to be achieved, but I would be happy, if we're able to achieve 85% of what we've discussed, because that addresses probably the pain and the concern of 90%, I would assume, of the market.
Welcome.
Okay. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you so much for coming together. I think the consumers will, of course, be very happy that it's work in progress. There is no logout. There is no detox, ladies and gentlemen, that is taking place on your screens. Swiggy, as well as the representative for the restaurants together, talking about finding a solution. Of course, there are a series of meetings that are going to keep taking place. And Vivek Sundar, Kabir Suri, when you do reach that resolution, we want to see you back together right here on Star of Central. Many thanks for taking the time out and joining us in this interview.